Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Bitcoin maximalists despise XRP. And why? Well, because reasons, of course. But I think if we want to, pick into that a little bit further, probably because they feel highly threatened by it. Because XRP just works. You get real-time settlement in 3 to 5 seconds on the blockchain, and transactions are so cheap that they might as well be free at fractions of a penny. Whereas Bitcoin at times of high congestion can take over 24 hours for a transaction. And I remember in 2017 when I jumped into crypto, there were at peak times, there were transactions that were costing over $50, sometimes more than what the transaction, the Bitcoin being transacted with, was actually even worth, hilariously. So now you have XRP rocketing up in recent months, obviously, hitting a new all-time high the other day. Everybody knows, and the Bitcoin maximalists know too. And what has this resulted in? It's resulted in tremendous public displays of cope. Lots of copium going on the XRP side here from these toxic Bitcoin maximalists. And I'm going to share with you a number of examples of this in this video, and there are a couple headlines I've got to touch on here. There's this one from the Crypto Basic. Ripple CLO strongly denies rumors of Trump criticizing Ripple for supporting Kamala Harris. And so this all stems from just made up crap, you'll see as we get into this. And then there's also this one. Masari founder says Ripple is a threat to the Trump crypto agenda in fresh attack. It's just like these people, they are adults by age only. Certainly not adults by behavior. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so, I want everybody to know this. I'm sure many of you listening, you've been around for years, you are aware of this, but there are also new people jumping in, and I want you to know the degree to which these depraved lunatics have tried to destroy XRP since it became publicly available in 2013. Look at this post on the Bitcoin Talk forum here. This is a post from May 22nd, 2013. That's right, almost 12 years ago. And somebody named Matthew Wright wrote, "This is amazing. If you look at the Ripple giveaway thread, you can see that lots of people were apparently changing their original request posts from requesting XRP to claiming it's a scam." And so you may not be aware of this, but Ripple actually, in the earliest of days, they were giving away XRP for free. But once it became tradable on exchanges, that didn't really work so well, because then you're just endlessly suppressing price effectively. But there was a time where some XRP was actually literally being given away. And so there were all these people requesting XRP, but then somebody decided to pay people to post that it was a scam in an attempt early on to kill it, because it was viewed as a competitor. And so there's this is the text on the screen that they were told they had to pay here, but somebody reported, look, reads as follows. And again, this is 2013. "I was offered $550 to say that Ripple is a scam. I received an interesting message in my bitcointalk.org inbox today. It said that a user going by the name Trade Fortress was paying 4 members 5 Bitcoin to edit their posts in this thread to say that Ripple is a scam." Buck wild, folks. So this has been the case from the beginning. And so now that XRP is clearly here to stay, and now that it's outperforming Bitcoin, they're just making up crap. They're absolutely just making up the most ridiculous stuff. And some of the people too, they should feel tremendously embarrassed, because like a lot of the guys, especially some of the chart analysts who have large followings and maybe they're pretty good otherwise, they completely botched this one, and that's gotta hurt their egos, right? So take a look at this post from chart analyst Dom, one of the many analysts who did accurately call that XRP was going to break to the upside. He nailed it. He shared the following perspective. He says, "The crazy thing about the XRP pump is that all these OGs on crypto Twitter are basically sidelined. That's gotta hurt. And it's not just because they missed a pump. That happens all the time. It's because this coin stared them in the face for years in the top 10, and they still faded it. They told their normie friends it was dead, a scam, and never to touch it. Meanwhile, the asymmetrical risk/reward was insane. The only real hurdle was opportunity cost. That's when you realize the value of rotations and patience. Yeah, so I think he knocked it out of the park there. And people like you and I who are normal, we could see this. We could see that XRP was obviously alive and well. There was incredible opportunity here, but some of these people, their minds are so warped because they suffer from the affliction known as XRP derangement syndrome that they really just missed it. And so we have stuff like this. Again, this headline, Ripple CLO strongly denies rumors of Trump criticizing Ripple for supporting Kamala Harris. Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati publicly denies allegations suggesting that Donald Trump criticized Ripple for its financial donations to Kamala Harris during the presidential election. And I will pause and note here, Ripple did not donate any money to anyone who was not very obviously pro-crypto, and Ripple sure as hell did not donate any money to Kamala Harris. Ripple did donate money to support John Deaton's Senate campaign. They donated before and after the election a total of $75 million to a super PAC called Fair Shake to support pro-crypto candidates. There was nothing that went directly to Kamala. If anybody has any evidence to the contrary, you let me know. I sure as hell haven't seen it, and that stuff should be public record. Anyway, piece continues. And I'll pause and note this. Okay. Part of what this stems from, I think, it's because Chris Larson, one of the founders of Ripple, he's always been on the left politically, but in a large company, you're going to find people who are on the left. You're going to find people who are on the right. This shouldn't be surprising. And so Chris Larson, who is a multi-billionaire, he donated money to Kamala Harris. And I know that that's absurd, and we've talked about this. I don't want to go in depth in this video. I've said my piece on it. But he can do whatever he wants. He's an adult, and that's that. But that wasn't Ripple donating the money, okay? Anyway, piece continues. This allegation gained momentum yesterday after the New York Post reported that Trump is receptive to establishing a reserve for tokens developed in the US, such as XRP, Solana, and USDC. The report indicated that Trump recently met with the creators of these tokens to discuss the details of the reserve. Okay, so folks, we know, of course, that Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati, they had dinner with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And about a week and a half ago, there was a new interview. Brad Garlinghouse, he was actually talking about this very topic. He said there's going to be a strategic crypto reserve, Bitcoin, and he said other coins, but he stopped short of saying XRP. But that really caught my attention, and let's be real, caught the attention of everybody who heard him utter that. That was interesting, because you know that he was meeting with Trump right at the time, and then he comes out saying that, well, that's kind of interesting here. Anyway, piece continues though. Following the report, crypto media outlet Unchained claimed the rumors about including XRP in a national reserve are likely untrue. Unchained cited a previous Axios report about Trump criticizing an unnamed company for financially supporting Harris during the presidential election instead of him. Now again, folks, that didn't even happen. There is no proof at all that Ripple did that. Again, when you're talking about these donations, that's public anyway. It didn't happen. And Unchained, run by Laura Shen, that person has XRP derangement syndrome out the wazoo. I don't even know what a wazoo is, but she has it out of that thing. She has been lying about XRP and Ripple for years on end, twisting things. Just the level of intellectual dishonesty because she has personal feels about XRP, it's through the roof. It's just ridiculous. So the fact that this is coming from Unchained, not the least bit surprising, but would Unchained be writing about this if XRP weren't recently finding a ton of success in the market? I don't think so. I'm thinking that that's a big no. Anyway, piece continues. Although Axios did not mention names, Unchained stated that two unnamed sources confirmed Trump was talking about Ripple. Consequently, the sources suggested that the rumors about creating an America First reserve for XRP are likely untrue. Okay, well, check out this, and I'm not going to read this article. This is the actual article from Unchained. Likely false rumors of altcoin reserves send XRP and Solana prices soaring. No, that's not why they were soaring. XRP's been soaring since November. It's been artificially suppressed. You guys know the whole thing. I don't even need to say it in this video, do I? XRP, there's no coin that had been so supremely primed in the history of this entire asset class. There's no coin that's consolidated longer than XRP. And so here we are, and it's taken off, and it was taking off before this was even in the news. So it's a bunch of garbage, but they want to make it sound like, oh, well, that's the only reason it happened, and it's not even a true thing. That's what Unchained's trying to do here. What a bunch of idiot sticks. And so here's one of the writers here, Veronica Irwin. She wrote, my sources tell me that Trump was receptive to the idea of including XRP in a crypto reserve are likely untrue. In fact, they say Trump was pretty hard on Ripple. I doubt that. I doubt that Trump was hard on Ripple. I don't believe any of this. I mean, if there's some sort of strained relationship here, what's with all this money flowing directly to? In fact, Ripple, they donated $5 million to the inauguration of Donald Trump. Like, it's just a bunch of crazy nonsense here. So John Deaton's Crypto Law responded to Veronica and wrote, unnamed sources who you admit are speculating, this is not journalism. You might want to up your game and get serious about reporting news instead of this amateur behavior. Yeah, but they're not going to, because they have applesauce for brains. That's what happens when you have XRP derangement syndrome. Your brain turns to applesauce when it comes to do anything with Ripple and or XRP. So Stuart Alderati wasn't taken too kindly to any of this, and here's what he had to say. This is on X. He wrote, wow, unnamed sources? Here's a named source. Me. The rumors published by this third-tier crypto rag are pure fiction, completely made up. Wonder who's behind this. And then we got this post from attorney John Deaton on the matter. He wrote, let me get this straight. Someone not present at the meeting admitted to someone else that he or she was speculating at what could have possibly been said at the dinner between Donald Trump, Brad Garlinghouse, and Stuart Alderati. This is why we have rules of evidence in court. In court it would be, objection, Your Honor. This is speculation of hearsay within hearsay. Welcome to crypto tribalism. XRP is currently outperforming all major caps, including Bitcoin. I'll pause to say, and I've been mentioning this in recent videos because I want to make sure as many people as possible know this. If you purchased XRP in 20, I guess it would have been 2014, 11 years ago, and if you purchased Bitcoin and XRP 11 years ago, and you held it to today, you would have made more money investing in XRP than Bitcoin. That is a fact. And that is something that really, just to their core, disturbs these toxic Bitcoin maximalists. That can't be true, but it is true. It's literally true. So anyway, John Deaton says, therefore, we're sure to see three things. Number one, so-called XRP influencers, some coming out from nowhere, hyping the S word out of XRP. Yeah, that's for sure. Number two, non-XRP so-called influencers, including so-called media outlets, spreading FUD about XRP. That's kind of hitting the mark right here. Number three, high-profile legitimate industry leaders who disfavor Ripple and XRP or worse, and who will openly share the reasons they do, whether it's describing XRP as a scam coin or proclaiming today's buyers serve as exit liquidity for founders, which could be argued about every type of investment, whether an IPO or a crypto token except Bitcoin. Or maybe it's because of donations personally made by Ripple's executive chairman. The list is long. I learned about the hate when I sued the SEC and intervened in the Ripple case. Despite owning, at the time, much more in Bitcoin and ETH than XRP at first, people associated my efforts with only helping Ripple and XRP. Let's just say I didn't receive as much support or encouragement at the time. How often does it happen when 75,000 token holders or individual investors join together and ask a federal judge to be sued by the SEC as defendants in the most significant non-fraud SEC enforcement action in modern history? Yeah, and I want to make sure that people know what that means. John Deaton, of course, he did represent over 75,000 XRP holders, and literally the people he was representing, since they weren't named in the lawsuit by the SEC, they weren't a part of it, they asked the court to be sued by the SEC so that they could fight back against the SEC. That's how serious here. So obviously the judge took that seriously, and then you know that that ended up becoming Michi friends of the court. So John Deaton did end up getting to represent those holders, and so they weren't ultimately actually being sued by the SEC. But before that was an option, that was the ask. Think about that. It's pretty amazing. And so then he says here, crypto media's response, crickets. When people realized my efforts were really about fighting the SEC's gross overreach and that I wasn't a paid plant for Ripple, things did change and people in the industry have been great to me. Many people from the industry donated and supported me in my long shot campaign against Elizabeth Warren, and I'm still very grateful. But the hate within the industry is real. My God, if XRP gets close to flipping ETH, some people might lose their minds on crypto Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, that's for sure. But it's not limited to XRP. As Bitcoin goes higher, you will witness people opposed to Bitcoin become angry and jealous and spread FUD. The tribalism is real. What else can I say except welcome to a bull market? I thought that was a pretty damn good post, and that's pretty much how it's gone down here. What a bunch of garbage. Here's another one. This guy's a lunatic. Masari founder says Ripple is a threat to the Trump crypto agenda in fresh attack. Okay, they're talking about Ryan Selkis. This guy, talk about a loose cannon. So I remember over half a decade ago ripping to shreds the lies that he was publicly posting about Ripple and XRP. I had full videos dedicated to this. It was probably in 2019. Like it was a long time. I remember doing it that far back. Just straight up bogus lies. This guy it's one of the most severe cases of XRP derangement syndrome that I've ever had the unfortunate experience of witnessing in my entire life. It's not a pretty thing here. And perhaps he's just becoming unhinged in general. Take a look at this headline. This is from July of last year. So that's Ryan Selkis on the screen there, Irrational XRP hater, suffers from XRP derangement syndrome. He's also a founder of Masari, which does all sorts of data and analytics in the crypto space. And so here's the headline from July of last year. Masari CEO steps down amidst controversial political tweets. And so he was going a bit off the rails. Apparently it wasn't such a good look for the company. And so he ended up basically being forced to step down. That's him. Loose cannon here. But the irrational hatred, it's very strong to the point where he's saying stuff, and I have to assume that he knows that so much of it's just made up nonsense. I would have to assume that he knows that, right? So take a look at this post. This is from Ryan Selkis here. He says, XRP is now bigger than Salesforce and approaching Bank of America in market cap. He said, top 30 US company, twice the value of Uber, bigger than Shopify, PayPal, and MicroStrategy combined, and 5 times the size of Coinbase. Okay, so that all sounds good. You'd be like, oh, wow, he must be a real big fan of XRP. Nope. Look at the last sentence. He writes, this is so absurd. Ripple's crash and scandals will take down the entire crypto agenda in DC. What a dumbass take. How can somebody be so stupid as to actually believe something like that? Does he actually believe that? Or is he just saying stuff because he irrationally hates XRP? It's hard to know. But think about this. Even the SEC, who came at Ripple as hard as they possibly could, even they acknowledged that there was no fraud. Even they. What do you mean Ripple's crash and scam? What are you talking about? He's just saying things. What? Look at the Cope. Look at the Cope. As XRP has been rising, this is what we're working with here. And so we have to fight back and push back against it, which is why I'm taking time to talk about this, because it's a bunch of garbage. It is all over the place, though. You know, these are getting stories written about them because they're from people who are well-known in crypto with big followings. But there's other smaller ones here. I don't even know who is this woman. Just somebody, it looks like just a toxic Bitcoin maximalist. Juthica? Is that a name? Anyway, so it's Juthica. She wrote, XRP is a case study in the fact that a cryptocurrency need not have a fundamental use case or provide any value whatsoever so long as you have strong bag holders, retail to dump on, and incompetent regulators. Now that's so fascinating to me. XRP has substantially more utility than Bitcoin, her beloved coin. What is even going on here? This is another person that is clearly suffering from the affliction known as XRP derangement syndrome. So I wrote back to her and I said, you clearly have the internet. Use Google search to learn about XRP utility. Your post should make you feel embarrassed for being so ignorant. Until then, in the words of toxic Bitcoin maximalist Max Kaiser, cope harder. And so think about this too. Even if you just think back to the SEC v Ripple case, and there were something like 15 different amicus briefs filed that were in support, basically from people who are pro XRP, and a number of them are various businesses not related to Ripple at all, just doing stuff, and because there's so many things that we didn't know people were doing and building using the XRP ledger until the lawsuit came, and then they decided to speak up because they realized that if it didn't go well for Ripple, it was going to impact their business models. All of this is readily available. If you use the damn internet and do a freaking Google search, you can figure this stuff out. So this is not a person who's likely to be operating in good faith. It's somebody who believes a thing and then just wants XRP to not exist as a result, effectively. And so the blockchain backer responded to me with a gift suggestion. He wrote, "Here's your new gift, brother." So apparently this is just what we should use. I do like this one. This is from an old-ass South Park episode. This is probably like, what, a 25-year-old episode at this point, probably about. It's that one, Scott. I'll never forget this one. Scott Tenorman. He's, I guess, being a bully to Cartman, and then Cartman killed his parents and put him in Chile. Remember that? Sorry, spoiler alert. It's a 25-year-old cartoon. Come on. And so then here he's looking up Scott Tenorman's tears here. This is a great episode. The tears of unfathomable sadness. Such a great episode. So anyway, I think that that is probably the gift that I should be using every time I come across one of these irrational XRP haters. That's probably a good pick right there. Crypto Bitlord, who's been in crypto forever, he wrote the following yesterday. "I'm seeing some major XRP Cope. These people are struggling right now, particularly some Bitcoiners. Many will end up in institutions." So that was reposted by the blockchain backer, and he said, "It's an amazing phenomenon. So many adults coping out in the open publicly." Folks, that is exactly what this is. That's why I said at the outset of the video, these are adults by age only, but they're not adults by behavior. That's for damn sure. Santiago Velez responded to that and said, "What I find really odd is how much they care. As an XRP holder, I was always happy to see other assets in crypto rise, especially Bitcoin. It's a deep-rooted insecurity based on the fear that the narrative will pop." Yeah, I think that's a great take. And it's very clear, as I said also at the outset, these people do feel threatened by XRP. If they didn't give a damn, they wouldn't be constantly talking about it. But they do give a damn, and they do find it threatening. And they are irrational. Here's another example. Somebody named Alexander Leishman. He's the CEO at River, whatever the hell River is. I don't really care. I'm not even going to look at it. But here's what he wrote. So stupid. This is the stupidest crap. This is real. Like, these humans are out there. They walk amongst us. And their brains operate in such a way that it's like such a mental deficiency of sorts. To have a brain, an actual human brain that calculates real world data, and then this is the output of the calculation. This is what I'm about to share. This is the output. It's amazing that a human brain can do this. It's amazing. So he wrote, "Ripple are the worst bad actors in the industry, and they are courting the Trump admin after attacking Bitcoin and funding Democrats for years. Everyone in the Trump admin needs to understand that Ripple should not be trusted." So that's a blatant lie, blatant lies right there. They're not attacking Bitcoin. Nobody at Ripple's attacking Bitcoin. Ripple, the company itself, sure as hell is not attacking Bitcoin. Everything that we've seen from executives, and I do believe this, they want Bitcoin to do well because they understand that the entire asset class is tied together. And then funding Democrats for... No, they haven't. That is not how this works. Certainly not any anti-crypto politicians. But in fact, so the funding that they put out there, it pretty much went to super PACs, and some of that money technically, yeah, it went to Democrats, but only pro-crypto ones. So almost all of it, actually, the majority, ended up getting put into the hands of Republicans. So what the hell? There's just blatant lies here. It's just complete. And then he wrote here, they're pushing for government attacks against Bitcoin. Like, no, they're not. No, they are not. We just want legal clarity. This is just completely ridiculous. Oh, man. Let me share with you this one to wrap up the video here. This was Gary Gensler's goodbye. So it was the last full day was yesterday, Friday. And he did his little goodbye post. "It has been a privilege of a lifetime to work for you as SEC chair." And the rest is on your screen. I'm not going to read it. And then there was a thread. And so I responded to him. And I simply wrote, "Fuck off, you piece of shit." I think that's probably the best post I've ever written on X. I think that's probably my crowning achievement. Certainly a masterpiece of work right there. And the funny thing about this is I unintentionally ratioed Gary Gensler here. You gotta see. So his post there was seen 1.4 million times, 1,700 likes that's all he got out of 1.4 million views. My views on this response, I only got 46,000 views, much smaller by comparison, but 4,400 hearts. Oh man, Gary Gensler can suck some straight up donkey balls. Like, there's not enough eggplant emojis on the planet for that guy. Oh, this is great. Neil Hartner responded to me and he said, "You speak for all of us." He's a software engineer at Ripple. You gotta love it. Oh, I'm so glad that guy's gone. Technically, he's still SEC chair until inauguration, Monday, but that was his last day yesterday. So we are rid of Gensler. The guy's gone. I'm very thankful for that. But it's not going to stop the people that suffer from XRP derangement syndrome. It's just going to get worse. The higher the price of XRP, the more deranged comments you're going to see from these people. And I will continue to highlight them and rip them to shreds, and we can just mock them because they're saying some dumbass stuff, even though they're technically adults. Doesn't make any sense. Attorney John Deaton reposted the Gensler goodbye message and wrote, "Quite possibly the single worst bad actor in Washington, and my God, is that saying something?" That's true. It's definitely true. All right, I'm going to wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.